Alright, today I'm going to talk about power supplies. Power supplies specifically for strip lighting. Probably could use them for other things, but basically DC power supplies for strip lighting. Now, with strip lighting, you have strip lights that come in 5 volts, 12 volts, 24 volts, and 48 volts, all DC. Some you can find that are 110 volt, but there's going to be a power supply involved, and they're going to be AC out to the power supply that could be integrated into the controller. All right, let's start off with just some basic power supplies. These are power supplies that you would get with a typical, strip light that you buy off of Amazon or eBay, and it would probably be good for like a 16-foot strip, RGB strip or whatever, and they come in different various sizes. I was trying to find one that would look kind of like a computer power supply for like a laptop, but I just couldn't find it. Anyways, there's all different types of those little guys, okay? That's what those are. Then you have other ones. Well, you got USB, which is actually a power supply for like a 5 volt strip light, and you could use that, or you could plug it into your computer. That would power a strip light. And then here's a kind of a specialty one. This is a DIN rail mounted power supply for like inside of a control cabinet on a machine or whatever, and you want to have like maybe at a brewery, you want to light up around your tanks or something. You can put this inside your control cabinet, no screws required, just snap it into the DIN rail and away you go. Let's see. Here's a little bit bigger of one. That's a 48 volt. That's also for DIN rail mounting. More for industrial type stuff. Alright, so let's say you want to be waterproof and you want to have a power supply for outdoors. That's what this power supply looks like. Kind of like that. It's all totally encased, and no water can get into it, so that's what it's for. It's called an IP67. Here's a little bit bigger of one. You can probably power quite a few strips with this guy. I really like these power strips because they're, versatile. You could use them for Christmas lighting outside, whatever. They're a good power supply. Another type of power supply is like this one. You see these on Amazon, eBay, and stuff quite a bit. This one here is a good power supply. You could, like I say, power quite a few strips off one power supply. It's a 12 volt DC one, this happens to be. The only drawback on this is this one doesn't happen to have a fan, but a lot of them do have fans, so you'll have to consider there would be noise with that. Here's a real interesting thing. This is just a computer power supply. Now, we always throw out our computers when we get tired and they get old or get slow. Really, you should hang on to these power supplies, because this power supply, it has various voltages. It's a very good power supply. It'll power quite a few strips, and it's interesting. The black wires on these are for ground. The yellow wire is your positive 12 volt. The blue wire is negative 12 volt. Red wire is positive 5 volt, and white wire is negative 5 volt. There's also an orange wire, 3.3 volt, but you're not going to use them. I don't know if any strip lights would work with that. What I've noticed is you could actually go with the black wire for your ground and the yellow wire for your 12 volts, and it works just fine. I mean, like I say, you could power a lot of strip lights with an old computer power supply. This is just a cheesy little one. Another drawback is this one does have a fan, so if you want it in an area where you don't want noise, you probably wouldn't want to use that. Now, something else to keep in mind is you might find what you think is a power supply, but it's really not. It's for like landscape lighting. This is just really a transformer. This happens to be a 12 volt transformer, but it's only good for AC lights, not LEDs. Strip lights are light emitting diodes, and they take DC voltage. Okay, so let's look at my little checklist here and see what else I have. I've talked about the different voltages: 5 volt strip lights, 12 volt strip lights, 24 volt, 48 volt, and then the 100 volt, like the luminum. Now on these power supplies, you never want to exceed 80%. So let's say you had a 0.8 amp strip, and strips normally are spec'd out in amperage. So if you had a 0.8 amp strip, you need a 1 amp power supply to power that. So that would get you at your 80%. If you don't have your amperage of your strip light and you only have the wattage, you can divide, if it's 12 volts, you can divide 12 into the wattage, or 12 the volts into the wattage, and that'll give you the amperage. And it's just kind of Ohm's law. They have calculators online that you can look at and get that. Basically, that's about it. Oh, this power supply here, this is a special power supply. This one is for dimming, like a single color LED, like a cool white or a warm white. Not for RGB lighting, but for single color, like under your cabinet, in your kitchen, let's say. The thing that's unique about this, these cost quite a bit more, but you can control these with an electronic dimmer, a standard house electronic dimmer. So on the line side of this supply, you can raise and lower the voltage, and it will give you raise and lower the lighting. My recommendation for strip lighting, when you pick them out, if you're doing just for in your home, under your cabinets and stuff, a lot of people like warm white. I guess I like it, but really for me, I like cool white. And cool white would be something like I don't know if you can see, but I have a display cabinet here. And if you want to see better, it's just a better light. I just like that better. We'll get into more into RGB strip lights, RGBW strip lights, addressable strip lights, all that kind of stuff in another video. But mainly I just wanted to show you the power supplies and the different types and whatever. And you know, there's a billion of them. Okay, that's about it.